Today we're going to work on a problem I created when I raised up the cabin. I raised up this west end of the cabin 8 inches, and when I did, my table ended up clear up here. Well, I lowered the table back down again, but now here this window is, it's too high to look out when I'm sitting here at my little reading table. Well, we have a fix for that. I have a window out in the shed that I brought out last fall, and we're going to work on retrofitting and changing out this window today. And when we're done, the new window is going to be longer, so it's going to come clear down to here, and I'll have my view back. First thing, we'll get this old trim off. The bottom pieces I can probably use again. Sides, of course, I'll have to cut a little longer. Basically, they're just young balsam trees. While they're still standing, I peel the bark off, slice them right down the middle, and I found it makes a very nice rustic window trim in here. When I get this window changed out, the only single pane left in the cabin will be that door over there. But this window is never frosted up, even though it's single pane, 30 below zero. And people have wondered if I'm lying about it being 30 below, but I think the answer to that is between the cabin being so warm and the very low humidity up here in the North Country is why my windows don't frost up, and is why my breath isn't spewing fog all the time when I speak outside. When I did that cabin raising project, I took all these windows out so that I wouldn't be busting them up. And when I put this one back in, I remember now that the caulk was pretty old and it didn't stick very well, but it worked out well for me today because it saved me a lot of cutting. One little tough spot there to get with a knife. I brought the window in last fall, and that was the advantage that I could have it all measured up, and I knew just what I had to do. So at home, before I came, I took some 2x6s and I took them down to 4.5 inches. And I know that as I cut this log out down to here, these pieces will fit in on the side. These pieces will frame in there, and this window will fold and sit right in there with the brick mold up against my new wood. It's going to be a pretty easy job. And oh, behind me I have a gray jay eating some pancake. First one of the trip. Hi, buddy. Things are going well. Always a few snags though. This big spike right here runs over and ties this log into this oak board. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but if I don't get it out of there when I cut my chainsaw, I'm going to ruin a chain. Like I said, it's into an oak board. Right before I left home, I looked at 2 crowbars on my bench and thought, well, do I need that extra one up at the cabin? And I could think of no reason I would ever need a crowbar up here. So I left it home. So now I've spent the last 15 minutes scrounging around trying to figure out how I'm going to get this big nail out of that piece of oak. Well, we'll see what happens here. I know I don't want to sacrifice my good hammer because the wooden handle is just going to break. So we'll try a little leverage here. notice that I moved my new window out of the way. And that's what I thought might happen. Oak is really tough. Another small mistake. I should have slid the pipe further up that handle. So let's see if we can still salvage this operation. With a barn pole spike into oak, it causes a major problem when you want to take something apart. Well, here goes nothing. The moment of truth. I think I have all my numbers, even though I've changed a few in the last few minutes. Pardon the noise, a little more chainsaw carpentry. Glad I got the old chain, that old chainsaw. I heard a little blip as it was cutting. Kind of cut poorly after that. Well, first fitting. See what happens here. Well, that's a good start. Won't be long now. I did a little more trimming up, got my shims all the way around, and now I'm just anchoring it down into the sidewalls with these big Torx head screws, so later I have to take it apart again. It won't be like that big pole barn seal shank I had to pull out. Well, we're about done. There's still some mess to clean up, but I need to caulk it, but it's in. Now, isn't that a lot better? Maybe while I'm talking here, I get many comments on why I have a whole row of these stainless steel pans. Well, here's why: because I don't bother getting a dinner plate out when I'm here alone, and I don't have to do the dishes every day. Water gets kind of precious in dry times like this. a little jumpy. But for the first day, I'm very happy with their behavior. Now we're getting really snazzy.